At Mapping for Change, we often receive inquiries from concerned individuals and communities about air pollution. What's great about Science in the City is that the City of London Corporation is the driving force, and the residents of the Barbican and the Golden Lane estates are really enthusiastic. And it's this combination really that is such a powerful tool to bring about the positive change required to clean up London's air. And also this has inspired other local authorities to commission us for similar work using the same replicable approach so that it's just accessible to all different communities and people who want to get involved in improving the air.
Hello, I'm Keith Bottomley and I chair the Port Health and Environment Committee at the City of London Corporation, and that is a committee that has got a really important responsibility for ensuring that the air in the city is as clean as possible to breathe, and that's a statutory responsibility, it's a legal responsibility, but it's one that we take incredibly seriously.
So my name's Andy Bell, I'm a father of an 8-year-old daughter, married, and I've lived in the Barbican for it's just over 13 years. I think being involved in the project, it just confirmed my suspicions based on personal experience and what I read about, that the air quality here is not good. I'm an asthmatic and there's some days when it really impacts on my health. So when projects like this come along, you just feel as though you've got to do something, and I think that those projects which engage people from the ground up really does give you a sense of empowerment. And it should be extended to other communities who need to understand what's happening in their communities.
My name's Marge Berer. I've lived in London since 1973 and I've lived in the Barbican since 1996. I have emphysema, having smoked cigarettes for a very long time, which of course then is my own fault, but I can tell when the air quality is poor or better, and it's very important to me to have decent air if possible. Yeah. Well, it was particularly when I read from WHO, World Health Organization, that 9 out of 10 people are living somewhere where the air quality is poor, and it's dangerous. It reduces length of life, and so I thought it was really important to support this project.
So if we cast our minds back to 2014, there wasn't anywhere near the level of public awareness of the damage to public health and the damage to all our health that breathing polluted air creates, and they're really serious. It's the biggest public health crisis really outside of the pandemic. So we did a measuring exercise. We invited the residents of Barbican and Golden Lane estates to get involved with us to start to measure how much pollution was in the air. And we roll forward now, we just repeated the exercise 8 years later, and the improvement is really dramatic.
A study such as this, such as Science in the City, is really important. First of all, citizen science involves regular people in the discussion and also the problem solving. So it's not just a case of data collection, it's just been a part of the whole process. And also secondly, it's really, really valuable because we can collect results at a much more granular scale, so we can actually see the spatial variation, which would not usually otherwise be possible, for example on people's balconies, the different heights, and in private spaces, so we can really see how it varies across the space.
These really important partnership activities with our local residents, with local communities, are really important in helping us to sort of form our strategy. And we have two really important, well, we have three actually. The air quality strategy, and absolutely the work we've done here with Barbican and the Golden Lane estate have informed our air quality strategy and driving the improvement in air quality. The second would be our climate action strategy, and we are very, very involved with residents again on looking at how we can tackle climate change and reduce carbon emissions through the climate action strategy. This work has contributed to that. And also our transport strategy, which is really, in air quality terms, designed to reduce motor vehicles in the square mile over 20 years by a half. And that will contribute to an improvement in air quality as well. It already has done, but it's got more to do. But all our engagement with all our communities has fed directly into those strategies.
I just think it's important to stand up and be counted, and so often in life you just feel really small and you feel powerless. And I just felt that by my being involved in this project and getting my little tube every month gave me a voice. It was a way of trying to change things and a way of trying to put before those in power my little tiny sort of window on the world of pollution.
If you look at the legal limit that has been in place for a long time, the 40 micrograms per cubic metre, we've reduced the most of the pollution to within that limit over that period. And overall, whole of the square mile, over 40% reduction in nitrogen dioxide between 2016 and 2021. And this wonderful community engagement project that we've done here has been very much a part of achieving that.
So the Low Emission Neighbourhood was a project, 3-year project supported by the Mayor of London. They gave us specific funding to do a number of initiatives around the Barbican and Golden Lane estates. A large amount of greening took place around the Barbican and Golden Lane estates. 31 charging points were put in across the estate. Some of the other initiatives that were put in place was air quality monitoring at various city businesses.
We know what we did in 2013-14. We've heard the measures and some of the measures that have been put in place over that period of time. But the question is, okay, what difference has it made, and has it made a difference? And that's really why we wanted to repeat that study and actually have a look at this in more detail.
The results show that nitrogen dioxide levels have fallen considerably since we did this study back in 2013-14. Now, as we know, COVID lockdowns have had a big effect on our road and our air traffic actually. So yes, this could have skewed the results. But what is encouraging is that other regular monitoring does show the pollution levels all along the city falling year on year since 2014. So it's not just an anomaly this year where the pollution levels have fallen. Levels were also lower in the summer months as well. Now this follows the usual temporal pattern across the year, and it's quite a typical annual pattern.
One example of something that I thought was really positive was the closure of Beach Street Tunnel to vehicles which use petrol and diesel engines.
During the 12-month study, Beach Street Tunnel was closed to anything other than zero-emission vehicles. This was part of an experiment that came from some of the suggestions back in 2013-14. Now this actually ended in September and the tunnel was opened up again, and we can see the levels increasing again in October. But actually encouragingly, although it's not great news, it's still so much better than the high levels that were seen in 2014.
I expected the results to be worse. I was very pleased to see that the air quality got better over the lifetime of the project. Probably partly because the pandemic kept people and cars at home more often than normal. I would be interested to see if that turns around and stops being better now. But I hope that the project will prove that doing things like having only electric cars and stopping air pollution is extremely important.
Citizen science has got a real attraction to it, because what it's demonstrated with this project and this wonderful garden, which actually we've said, haven't we will keep, because it's off the footway, it's off the public footway, but it's here on the Barbican land itself, and I think it's fantastic. The cylinders here are recycled, the bug house up there, and this greenery is wonderful. And it feels to me as though the community have really adopted this space, and Mapping for Change have been absolutely brilliant in helping us to do this. And I would absolutely encourage as many other communities to do similar things as possible.
It's so important that the testing model for what's happened at the Barbican and the Golden Lane estates is rolled out into other communities. Things like Mapping for Change are crucial to understanding what actually the problem is. A, it provides a scientific basis for people to understand what's going on in those communities, but B, it's also a package that we can put before people in power and say, look, this is what's happening in our community. We feel strongly about it. Look how many of us have taken part. And we really need to start a debate about how we're going to change things.
We have to partner with other boroughs in London, with London government, with the national government, and actually this is a global effort.
Obviously, none of this could have happened without the enduring efforts from the residents to be able to contribute to this research, even during such trying times. So thank you so much, everyone who was involved.